Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Aspiring Engineers CP Steel. I'm your host, Mr.Spirit. So I had this match last night. It was a practice scrim, but even still, this is a match worth watching. The map, as I said, CP Steel. And with me is my team, Animal House. On demo, we have Stebbs. On Soldier, Penrose. Sniper, Fade. Medic, Grumpy. On Pyro, Bunnysaur. Heavy, Walnut. Scout, Zalox. Spy, Indigo, and me on Engineer. I had a massive lapse of memory there for a second. So I'm going to have this playthrough with the little demo playback there at the top for now. Yeah, that's normal speed. I think it is. Yeah, that should be normal speed. So, on CP Steel, as engineer, you play with the flank on offense. And what I was doing was playing with our soldier Penrose, our sniper Fade, our scout Zalox, and we were trying to cause as much havoc as possible. As an engineer, you won't do a whole lot with the combo. You want to cause as much damage in the back lines. Here we learn the sentry, and if you've seen my sentry positioning, you know this is a terrible spot. If we go and watch, you see he destroys it, and I know he's out there. We have our spy go and zap the gun, and we come out and we take everything out. Sentry and all. So we push ahead with the rest of us on flank. And in this part, I was not using my unusual. I was wearing just a plain old hat. And I was sneaking around just so I wouldn't be seen. Picking up metal. Here I don't fire, I just walk by. I know that if I engage with them, it'll be bad. I set up my teleporter for my scout and soldier to get back here as fast as possible. And I set it as far away from their spawn, because with that B spawn, it can cause a lot of trouble. So I sneak around, watching the windows, making sure nothing's coming out, and I set up a gun that if they try and get through, it'll cover the point to where my team can hold it for a bit and cause as much damage as well. It's also built there to anyone who gets on the point, such as the enemy soldier or scout, is going to have trouble too. This whole time I'm playing hidden away, setting up a base here, since they don't know I'm fully back here. Their engineer can't set up. I want to cause as much trouble as possible right now. My team's using the teleporter, going back to the point, and they're being indecisive between what they want to defend. Do they defend E, or do they defend B? And they give up on B. So immediately they start moving over, and I start causing distractions now. Their choice is now going to be focus over here. My scout comes, we run into a scout engineer combo, I set up a mini sentry, we take out their combo. And at this point, they've got no sentry on E. My team's now using the teleporter at D to be able to cause flank issues. And now that their spawn's a bit closer, I've got to be more vigilant of my teleporter. But this is maximum carnage for them. They can't figure out what to do. I'm distracting the soldier while our demo tries to take him. We're a bit spread out, but we're regrouping and figuring out everything. And I decide to move the teleporter. We don't need it there, but I move it into a more secure area where my gun's going to be able to watch it. You want to be able to have full control. This pyro comes in, he's already taken 140. Our soldier gets teleported in and shoots the next guy who comes behind him. He wasn't expecting a soldier to be literally behind him. Our team's busy dealing with their sentry and capping C, causing them much trouble. And they're now getting really split. Their engineer is trying to set up behind a wall. I try and pester. I let my team know. For me, I moved the dispenser over. Since we now control this area, might as well let our team have access to it. The demo is still trying to take out the sentry. My gun picks up something, and we finish off whoever it was. So I decide to take the mini and use it as a weapon against the sentry, seeing as it's level 2. The engineer has to use the rescue ranger to heal it at this point. He decides to hide behind the wall. My demo decides to get support, and I just sit there spamming. I'm out of a line of sight. You can't do anything, and instead of refilling the sentry, I just drop a new one and start. And the soldier's going to jump over here, and he's going to learn why you don't mess with a Wrangle mini sentry. Scout gets a piece of it, then the soldier just gets nailed against the wall, and he's so weak he doesn't want to come back. I set up to start pestering for my team. Their engineer won't be able to hold that gun long. Then I start pestering everyone else. We take over D because they're too concentrated here, and we all converge on the point. As you can see, we've done massive damage to them in such a short time. They made so many bad decisions trying to figure out where they should go and what they should be doing. I set up my sentry, goes down, team hears sentry down, and immediately know the enemy team's there. Our heavy's just holding the area with the pyro, and we just all stack, finish the cap. Easy as can be. Most indecision I've seen in Steel for a while. So now we're switching over to defense. We have our combo go A and only the combo. The rest of us go over here to B to set up so they can't have this area. Drop my level 1. I set my dispenser over here on the concrete. Spies can't use this on the concrete. Why? If my team's near it and they can't walk through it, they know the spy's there immediately. I have the sniper here to help cover me from sniper. The scout and the soldier are here, ready to fall back to E when it's time. My gun's here to deal with anything trying to just waltz on through. And this just becomes their worst nightmare. We essentially make our decisions, okay, what needs to be done. We have a little bit of indecision, but as soon as I go down for my first death, I just say gears down and immediately we snap back into place. So at this point I know spies aren't going to be here right away. I have my Wrangle gun to deal with anyone at the far range. I stand away from my gun as much as possible, and I use my Rescue Ranger to heal it. I can one-to-one his rockets all day. I fire rockets towards him to make him back up. Our Pyro's there to deal with the scout, and our scout comes. We give up A to them, and we start our hold at B, and our scout and our soldier go and take into that lobby area that we were before. Holding that area is essential. Out of my left eye, I had seen the spy uncloak, and I called it out to our Pyro. She picked him up. They're spamming long range. I back up, but keep the Wrangle's shield going. I know there's people down there because I'm getting hit sounds. I use my wrench to heal and use the big ammo pack. Using that big ammo pack is very detrimental because it allows you to stand up here and not have to run over to your sentry. Your medic can send you heals. His meta beam will reach you at the staircase. We did call out a spy. I sent rockets one way. I called out sniper, demo, and soldier trying to spam the gun out. And immediately our demo starts picking up towards them. Our Pyro comes to me and starts air blasting, and our sniper moves out to get shots on them. So we're using the dispenser as our fallback, which is a great medium, and we're using our knowledge of the map. We sat and did not one, but two map reviews of CP Steel to get everything down. Using that information that you learn just from a map review can do so much damage. Here they sent their scout to get pressure on. Our flank had a bit of damage dealt to it, and we're trying to deal with up here. The Pyro decides to go on her own, and she ends up killing off the scout, which is pretty decent. So our point's back, she runs back, we're all safe. They Uber, we call, and to keep the gun going, we pop on our Pyro, and we catch them off guard with it. I see that sniper dot, and I immediately call them out. Our sniper is now on ball on them, because if that hit me, that would have done massive damage, and we would have lost the point because we had used our Uber. I say where the sniper has moved, I fall down, and here's my first death. He had a 50-50 prediction. I could have been on the ground, could have jumped. I call that the gears going down because I'm down, and my team immediately calls fall back, give them point, fall back. My respawn was so soon, I know going out the B door is death, so I take the E route. I see our flanks covering our flank, so I take the opportunity to move through there and start setting up at E. Their team hasn't gotten behind here and hasn't caused damage, but since they're not attacking E, I decide to go to C with the rest of my team and set up a sentry. And since I know it takes a long time for people to get through that gate, I take the risky run over to grab them full metal. At this point, I'm setting up the gun here. Their engineer tried to come through. Their demo is going to try and come through as well. And since he's coming through, he gets a taste of the gun. It's not much, but it's enough to warn him, hey, there's a gun here. Don't bother. My team decides, okay, we gotta go defend E now because that's what they really want. And I decide, okay, I'll stick here and I'll hold C for a bit just so they know that they can't just up and have this place. I go searching for the spy. He could be Cloak and Dagger. And now I know our team really needs the gun at E with a minute left. I know I can't walk through the spawn, so I have to carry my gun and keep looking behind me. And as you can see, I jump and turn so I don't lose momentum. Our team's holding. I see the sniper dot. our sniper calls out he's down. So as soon as I drop my gun, I immediately pick it back up again and make the run. And I start setting up where the other engineer did, but I extend my gun out a bit further so I can shoot with my Wrangler. At this point, I'm just trying to keep eyes out and keep this gun going. I know that there's going to be a sniper in that box at some point, and he keeps aiming. I see him, I call it out. I'm hoping our sniper can take care of him. And I get shot. I had seen the dot. I was hoping he'd miss. Didn't. I call him out in the box though, and he gets taken out. And my gun's still up with 15 seconds left for them to cap 2 points, so they don't end up winning this map. They did pull off some nice trickery at the end, but it was a little too late. So overall, they did not too bad, but their indecision's what led to their loss. So as you can see, an engineer on steel can be quite deadly from both offense and defense. On steel, it is a big part of your sentry gun placement and holding 2 areas at once at all times. And if you can't hold those 2 areas, it's going to be easy as can be to get through. So just remember, win on steel and in Highlander, and you're playing engineer, make sure your decisions count for every last minute. And once again, let's build something in the next one.